everyone. I've been talking about this college football season with a lot of anticipation. Of course, now we're crazily enough on the backside of it. Like we're past the halfway point, which doesn't seem right. But yeah, exactly. How crazy is this? How fast is it going? But it has not disappointed. Every week, there's been at least one, oh my God, game, right? And I don't think it's going to stop. I think this will be another one or two, oh my God, games this week too.
I think the big thing before we really get into it, Bill, something big happened today in college football.
Yes, that is also true.
And of course, as the Indiana resident here, Indiana said, nope, we manned up. We talked about it on last week's episode that they needed to man up and pay the man to keep him in home. Now they got a top five paid head coach, what they needed to do. And Indiana is going to be a power threat with Kurt Zanetti staying in town.
Right.
And now Penn State, Nebraska, Florida, all these guys who are in Wisconsin, all these guys who thought they had a chance.
Nope.
Guess what? You got one of the biggest names is off the market.
Google him, right? So
Google him. All he does is win.
All he does is win. So that has sort of a, I guess, reverse trickle up, whatever direction effect, because now the next hottest coach is going to be sniffing around for a new deal too. So we're going to see a lot of schools that like their coach. If you're Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State, you might be, by extension, you might get.
The more I hear about it, it's Matt Campbell. I think Matt Campbell finally. He finally leaves Iowa State and he gets his shot.
Now that actually would be a good solid hire. So now James Franklin finds his new home in beautiful Blacksburg. Campbell goes where he's going to go, and then okay, we'll do this. We're going to do a whole.
We can come back.
But I've already gotten in my head like all the moves of who should go where.
I don't know if you know Josh Platt. He said he does not predict or see James Franklin going to Virginia Tech. He says that doesn't make sense to him.
No, probably not right away. No, so what's going to probably happen is some, I don't want to say sacrificial lamb, but, buffer coach. There'll be a buffer coach. And if the buffer coach does great, because remember, lots of guys who were supposed to be buffer coaches end up working out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dabble Swinney was not supposed to be the head coach at Clemson. For those who don't remember, when Tommy Bowden was shown the door, he was simply supposed to be keeping the seat warm. And they were, you're getting some names from the past here, but they were going after. It's funny. There's a few guys still in the game, but most of the guys are going after, like Chris Peterson. Remember when Chris Peterson, every year, some big school.
He's going to leave Boise State. Finally did.
Finally did. But like, it used to be every time. He was the default with every time a big job.
He was every time for years.
It could be anywhere. Anywhere
I love him staying at Boise State, though. I love that for long.
I love that he stayed as long as he did. And I mean, once again, they should at some point build a literal statue to that.
Ian Johnson, right? The running back, and it was Ian Johnson and the quarterback.
Ian Johnson got married in the end zone. Jared Zabransky pulled off a couple of beautiful.
Zabransky.
Just so you know, like, this is gonna make me sound 1,000,000 years old, but I still have that game on VHS cassette in my tape library. So yes, I bust that sucker out every now and again. It wasn't Josh Heupel who was the other team's. Was
it not Heupel at that time? No,
it was either Jason White or Josh Heupel. It was one of the sort of nondescript Oklahoma quarterbacks who actually had a pretty good game too, but obviously overshadowed by other events. It's like
I think Heupel was earlier. That probably.
I think it might have been.
I think that was. Now you say that. I think that was Jason White.
I think it might have been Jason White, but. Either way, you had this. I mean, it's one of the games that, like, if you wanted a reason to fall in love with college football, like if you had a friend who just watched pro ball and never watched a college game, sit them down in front of this game and then tell them, like.
I remember watching that game with my brother and my dad, and my brother said hook and ladder. When it happened, he literally called it. He's like hook and ladder and fucking hook and ladder touchdown play.
Yeah, I mean, I love coaches that coach unafraid, right?
Yeah.
That's what I like about. I mean, congratulations, Chicago fans. You have a coach who coaches unafraid. Ben Johnson coaches unafraid. There's guys sprinkled throughout college and pro football who are like, hey, that play that we've been practicing and you thought we'd never run, we're going to run it.
Yeah. Let's go have fun.
Doug Peterson, right? For all of his various other flaws, coaches unafraid.
Yep.
So speaking of unafraid, I am unafraid of upsets. Now, I wasn't quite bold enough to call for Indiana to flat out win, but I did say they were going to definitely deny the cover. I said it's going to be tooth and nail the whole way. And I was only semi-wrong because Indiana's real. I mean, I know they're good, but my God, they're good. They are deep.
They're undefeated. They're not going to lose. I mean, if you look at their schedule, there should be nobody left on their schedule. They don't play any top 5 components. The rest of their schedule is the weaker half of the Big Ten. They've had a tough front. Now they're getting into a nice little easy stretch of the Big Ten. They should go undefeated and be in the Big Ten championship game.
And that's going to be, obviously it's must-see TV anyway, but if it's Ohio State and Indiana, woo!
And it's going to be a home game for Indiana since they're always played in Indianapolis.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, no matter where that game was played, Indiana would travel. Like, Indiana may not have a great reputation for traveling to games, but they're gaining one, right? Now they're legitimately becoming a football school right before our very eyes. And shout out once again to Kurt Cignetti, who basically, he had some help from Tom Allen. Tom Allen set it up. Tom Allen got it, sort of start pushing it in that direction. And it took off like a rocket ship under Kurt Cignetti because you had sort of a worksman-like approach with Tom Allen. Keep your head down, push, push, push. But he didn't bring swagger. Kurt Cignetti came in and said, Google me. And I was like, oh. I've been watching Indiana football for a very long time. And I watched the good days under Bill Mallory. I watched all of it. Good, bad, and indifferent. And never have they had a coach where I was like, oh my.
Yeah. It's insane that you, like we've discussed before, that a guy who like Kurt Cignetti, who had a coach so long and was winning and never got his chance at a bigger school, he had to stay at JMU. But then you get guys like Kalen DeBoer, who was a nobody, and then like, oh, hey, we're going to give you this job. Oh, and then you're going to walk into this job, and now you're at Alabama after 4 years of big school coaching.
Yeah.
It's just funny how that works. You're like, hey, I did nothing, and all of a sudden now I'm a head coach at Fresno State, then Washington, and then 4 years later I'm at Alabama.
Yeah.
Like, how does that, like, it's amazing. And I would say DeBoer is 100 times the coach at DeBoer, or Cignetti is 100 times the coach at DeBoer.
Yeah. I don't know if Tim Skipper isn't equally as good a coach as Kim.
I wanted to get there because we talked about it, and then I saw post people, again talking about the offensive coordinator and saying, "Look at him," and everybody's like, account's like, "For the love of God, for the last time, it's Tim Skipper who is the head coach."
Right, he's offensive coordinator because Tim Skipper elevated him from wide receivers coach to offensive coordinator. But
yeah,
even if it's not UCLA, hopefully Tim Skipper. I guess forget it. We're talking, I guess, coaching carousel.
We're in coaches.
I guess that's what we're doing. We're calling it audible. So kill. So I am fascinated by this particular year because we're going to see at least one of the big name coaches who's been sitting out, is likely to dip his toe back in.
I agree.
Might be Jimbo. We'll see. But one of those guys, at least one of them, probably not
your favorite Art Briles.
Probably not Urban. Though Urban would do well at Penn State. I don't think he's going to do it.
Urban, stay away from college. Stay away from football. Stay at announcing. I don't want you back on the field. I think he's too out of touch. I don't think.
I think he would win, but I also think there'd be some. Penn State can't afford another.
Well, I was watching something today and reading something that this Penn State firing is costing the school about $70 million. You hear what they're paying Franklin, but you got to also talk about the coaches.
Yep.
All the other coaches that they won't keep, you got to pay their buyouts because it's usually a clean sweep. And then also now you got to talk about hiring the new coach and what you're going to pay them.
Who will not be cheap. Right. Correct.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a very expensive endeavor in Happy Valley. They have the money, obviously, but it's going to be a lot.
I watched an interview today on Pat McAfee with Matt Rule, It is the worst known kept secret. Let's just all say it right now. Rule's not saying it. He's saying all the right things. Rule's going to Penn State. I think you can lock
I
that
think
in.
that Rule wants to go, and I think they want him, but he still has to, interview and whatever.
He's saying all the right things that he should in the middle of the season.
As he should.
But,
right.
But
I'm with you on that. I think Penn State I think he has the inside track, but I think they're going to kick the tires on some other people. They're going to do they'll do.
I heard that Marcus Freeman is another guy they're going to kick the tires on.
They're going to try. I don't know if Marcus Freeman is going to be interested, but I mean, I would certainly hire Marcus Freeman if Marcus Freeman was at all interested for any job, basically.
100%. But, I mean, Notre Dame, if you talk about the top 10 schools to coach, Notre Dame, you have to name them the top 10 school.
Right. No matter where you are, it's lateral. You have to overpay to get someone who's successful at Notre Dame to leave.
And look, it's not going to be as hard as Alabama. Nobody wanted to replace Nick, obviously. DeBoer was not their first choice. We all know that.
We all not their second either.
Yeah, I mean he was down the list.
Yeah.
James Franklin, as great as he was, as great as a coach he was, he never won the titles. He struggled against top 25 opponents. So he's built a legacy. He's built that school to be known to be good. So you're stepping into a good program of legacy, but you don't have to worry about the titles. You don't have to worry about the name.
Right.
It's a way better job right now.
It's not super intimidating. It's not. Yeah. It's not, how do you live up to, right?
Yeah.
As for all the success that Franklin had, there's no sense you have to live up to anything.
Exactly.
And now there's been a couple of coaches between you and Paterno. So now you're kind of free and easy. I don't say free and easy because you still have to win and everything, but you're not being held up to. They're not saying, can you do? Like following Saban in Alabama, following Bobby Bowden at Florida State, there's certain places where, I mean, I'm sure you just must not sleep at nights when you first take the job. I mean, yay, I've reached the top of my profession. It's fantastic. My family is set for generations, but you're also eating the lining out of your stomach, because everything you do is going to be scrutinized by hundreds of thousands and probably millions of people. Now I think about it, once you count alumni, current students, and of course the
fans,
football media. Oh yeah. So at these giant schools. So when you're following a legend, right? If you're following Pete Carroll, or if you're following, we go back further, John McKay at USC.
Tom Osborne at Nebraska.
Oh God. Tom Osborne, first of all, he's dipped his toe in politics, but the governor of Nebraska should thank, everything. Right? That Tom Osborne doesn't want.
Lincoln would have been a town of 3,000 if it wasn't for Osborne doing what he did at Nebraska.
Right. I mean, but I'm just saying, like, if
300,000. Sorry,
if he's thinking about running for governor.
Yeah, I mean, Penn State is. I mean, like I said, we know at this rate Wisconsin's going to open up. I think it's safe to say that Wisconsin is out. Like, head coach is out the door. Like that any day could be the firing. It could be if it's another bad, ugly weekend of a poor offensive performance. That's what he was brought in to do. Wisconsin could fire. Brinking on name. What's the Wisconsin head coach's name?
Oh, Luke Fickell.
Luke Fickell. And then we know Florida. It's another bad week. I don't know what Florida's doing. I don't understand the obsession on trying to keep alive good old numbnuts down there, but I love it. Lifetime contract.
I think they like him as a person. I think the players love him.
He's a good recruiter, but he can't get the best out of his players.
Right. He's like a worse version of James Franklin. But the real issue here, I think, is I think they're wondering. I mean, Florida's still a good job, and
Florida should never got rid of him.
Get one of the better guys. Now, other names I'm hearing for some of these jobs. If Jed Fish, is ready to move on from Washington.
Yeah.
Or willing to move on from Washington. I could see if
he just took
out,
that.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Who was the other one?
I was saying a few guys. Jed Fish.
Yep.
Say if Fickell's out. Or if Matt Rule moves over or whatever, then if Jed Fish, his name is one I hear bandied about. I don't think Lane Kiffin's going anywhere. People just mention Lane Kiffin because they're thinking about the old
Lane. I think Lane
Kiffin would have definitely listened to any offer.
Yes.
But he had a chance to go to Alabama.
Yes.
Speaking of not their first choice, we talked about, and he thought about it. I mean, he admits he thought about it, and depending on who you talk to, there was even what's the term they use, a agreement in principle at one point. Apparently, once again, depending on who you believe, people that I trust have said that there at one point was an agreement in principle, wasn't signed or anything like that, and there hadn't been a formal offer made yet, but there was one coming, and he shut it down.
I think he chased the NFL, he chased the USC. They love him at Ole Miss. He's made Ole Miss a program.
His
They
daughters
love him at Ole Miss. He loves old Oxford. I don't think Lane Kiffin's going anywhere. I would have been worried about Heupel until we gave him a contract extension and a raise earlier this year.
Right.
So
I'm gonna give you a hot young coach, who I really think is a terrific coach, and is going to be a coach at a big school. I think sooner rather than later. CJ Kinney at Texas State. Who yes. I remember scouting. I have my scouting notes still on him from his days as the quarterback at Tulsa.
North Texas's head coach, I think, could make a jump to a Kentucky, Vanderbilt, small. That
if Lashley moves on to Florida, or if Lashley moves on to, that could be somebody that SMU could target. Also.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be one of the craziest years of head coaching because. Yes. I don't remember the last time I saw this many Power 5, Power 4, whatever you want to call it, head and big jobs. Penn State, Florida, we know about, Wisconsin, UCLA. I mean, and we know there's going to be more. I don't know if Kentucky's going to open up. That's not a huge, sexy job. I mean,
Mike Gundy would take it, but you're right. It's not a huge, sexy
Oklahoma
job.
State. I mean. Mike Gundy made Oklahoma State. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens to Oklahoma State.
Right. I mean, I remember Mike Gundy was a player, right? The Gundy brothers from Midwest City, Oklahoma. And then Cale comes in right behind him. I think Mike Gundy still wants to coach, first of all. So it just comes down to, does he get an offer that he likes? And he also could sit out for a while.
I just don't see him getting a big power program.
Probably not one of the top programs. That's why I said maybe Kentucky, maybe SMU. Once again, if Lashley moves up,
I mean,
there's a few places that could.
I mean, Arkansas maybe would make that. Seems like a good.
Actually, Arkansas makes great. Good pull. That's actually a great fit. It's a great cultural fit. If he decides to make some guest appearances on like OANN or whatever, it won't bother anybody at Arkansas. So that's actually a great fit, like a fantastic fit. And I think his injection of modern football offense might be just what they need in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Nicely done. You should be on the search committee.
If only people wanted to listen to me that well. I could tell you who to hire. Like I said, I've Gruden. I don't know if the NFL will ever give Gruden another shot. Gruden wants to coach again.
Gruden will coach him somewhere, but I don't think he needs a power program. I think he'd be willing to, because it's clearly not about money at this point.
He doesn't need the money.
It's not about prestige. He has a freaking Super Bowl ring.
So he's still getting paid by Oakland for the next 6 years.
Right. He's got a Bobby Bonilla situation. So he's coaching for the love of ball at this point.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he went to a smaller program. It wouldn't surprise me one tiny bit, in fact.
No, me either. I mean, but that's why I don't think Virginia Tech is going to do everything. They think Virginia Tech. Like I said, I've lived in the Blacksburg area for a long time. Blacksburg and Virginia Tech fans and people think they're an elite program. Every coach wants to coach at Virginia Tech. Why wouldn't you? This is a great. They think they're still in the Frank Beamer days. And it's like, you're not that.
Sadly, it is not 1999 anymore.
Yeah. So you're going to have to live your reputation. I don't think you're going to get James Franklin. James Franklin has to get a job, everybody, in broadcasting or something because of his contract with Penn State.
He's going to sit out probably at least 1 year, possibly even 2. Yeah. I'm going to give you some people I think are actually good fits at Virginia Tech. Alex Golesh, first of all.
Won't do that to me. I love Alec Gold. And Alec Gold is another young. I do think Alec Gold does leave South Florida this
I
season.
think he does, and I think it's a good fit for him. I think it's the right size program, right? I don't know if Florida. That's a big adjustment to make. You know,
I was thinking Wisconsin for Alec Gold.
Oh, that makes more sense.
But I don't get. You're probably. I mean, I think Tech has done it. They went after Fuente. They went after Pry.
Yep.
I really think they're going to want a proven commodity at head coach. They want to try to bring back bowl games and victories.
So you're talking about like throwing a bunch of money at Jimbo? Is that where we're going with this?
I would not be shocked if it's a Jimbo. That seems more like, trying to get a guy who they might make a run at Campbell. They might try, they really, I think, I don't have like the inside pulse on Virginia Tech, but just knowing the fan base and knowing that, I really think they're going to go for a proven commodity winner at another program. They're going to be Florida. I don't think Florida's going to go for another group of 5 school.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I'm going to give you 2 more names. Now, admittedly, they may still have some PTSD down in Blacksburg around the whole, getting a guy from Memphis because of what happened with Fuentes. But speaking of nondescript Oklahoma quarterbacks, Justin Fuentes, who was a halfway decent Oklahoma quarterback. But getting back to somebody I think has earned the opportunity. Well, he means he's been at big schools before, but Dan Mullen is a guy who's clearly to this point made it clear with the offers. I'll put it that way. I'm like, Dan Mullen, he's not quite Bobby Petrino, don't get me wrong, but he's also a guy who's never been like.
He should have never got fired out of Florida. He made Florida.
Like Florida is now wishing probably that they'd never moved on from Dan Mullen. But
yeah,
if Virginia Tech has a chance at Dan Mullen, they should take it, I guess is what I'm saying.
I think Dan Mullen's a perfect example. A winner who's won at Mississippi State, won at Florida, got kicked out, and now is undefeated at UNLV. I think that's a guy they can make the phone call on and be like, hey, we want you. And I think that would be a hire that they would go for.
Yep. I think that it's one thing that's a pretty good fit. I think if Virginia Tech doesn't get some of the top guys, they may be open to Gundy, perhaps. Once again, culturally, Blacksburg is rural-ish.
It's rural.
Yeah.
They like to think they're not, but they are.
I know, right, exactly. They like to think they're not, but they are. Good, but I think he would be a decent fit there. Now, the only question is, I mean, he's gotten players from the East Coast before, but it's not a place he's specialized in. That might be the only real concern, or he might need to explain his recruiting plan and who he's bringing in to help with that. A couple more guys I think might be on the move. Another sort of hot-ish name is John Sumrall, who's gotten it done at Tulane. Tulane is becoming one of those springboard jobs.
Yeah, 100%. Right?
The last 3 guys who coached at Tulane got bigger jobs. So I guess, it's a good place to go. I think John Sumrall is another person who has a legit shot.
Sumrall, though, I'm not trying to hate on Sumrall. Yeah. Sumrall is being successful off of Willie Fritz's success. So this is how I'm not trying to be rude to any coaches out there. I want to see you win with your team, not the previous team's players. And Sumrall is winning with Willie Fritz's players right now. He hasn't done great recruiting. You haven't seen a lot of crazy recruiting in Tulane. He's doing what he does with what Willie recruited and who stayed. So, I'm
not saying you're wrong. I still think it's a name that you're going to hear about. Not the top tier jobs, not for the the top tier jobs. And there's Donovan. So Donovan, we ended up calling an audible. We just spent darn near half an hour on the coaching carousel, which was not our original intentions. But
I'm sad. I'm sad I missed it.
Well, first of all, Matt should be on somebody's search committee. He managed to match up. Where'd you send? Let me see. You sent.
I sent Alec Golish to Wisconsin. I sent Dan Mullen to Virginia Tech. Well, that was also more you.
Right.
Okay. I'm rocking with those 2 so far. I like those 2 so far. I'm judging.
Well, it was Arkansas. Mike Gundy down to Arkansas.
That's it. You're not feeling that one so much.
That
I'm
just,
not.
I mean, that seems like an Arkansas hire, unfortunately.
Right. No, you're not wrong about that. They don't care about young coaches. I've noticed that. They don't mind if you're 60 something and
And
you're a man
Arkansas is
or
going to be
whatever.
realistic though too. They're not going to get a big name. I mean, they got
They should be able to get Red Lashley though, because they
Yeah.
should. Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Unless
They're going to make a
somebody's
run at
willing
James
to throw
Franklin.
a bigger bag than they can throw at him.
They're going to
Well,
get
he's
James Franklin.
homegrown talent. I mean,
I
Red.
know.
Yeah.
I remember Rhett Lashley at Springdale, right?
Yep.
Playing for Malzahn.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember him.
Mitch Mustaine and get Red Lashley and all those guys. Yeah.
Yep. Well, hello
Yep.
there. Hey.
Yeah, no, but you know what? Because I think because Arkansas got Calipari out of Kentucky.
Sorry, my dog is in this.
No, never apologize.
She's
We are pro dog.
yeah. She hasn't. Yeah.
I have an announcement to make. In the history of the show, one person has sat atop our FOTS friend of the show rankings.
Look. Okay. All right.
Undefeated and barely challenged. But as of today, with this appearance, we have a new man atop the leaderboard. Ladies and gentlemen, our new number one friend of the show is now Donovan J. Woo!
Hey. My dog. She's happy about it. My dog's. She's excited. She's so excited. Sorry, she's gonna be. I feel like Kurt Herbstreit right now with the dog. I haven't been home. Me and her mom haven't been home all day, so she's just excited. She doesn't talk. She doesn't bark much, so she won't be barking. But thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, I have a no actual kid, just the dog, like Josh. So I surpassed him. Sorry.
Well done.
No, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So we're going to depart from the coaching carousel in a second. I'm hearing things about CJ Kinney also being in the mix for some of these jobs that have opened up. Once again, as you know, Donovan, I scouted him when he was at Tulsa as a quarterback. Pretty darn good college quarterback.
You said GJ Kinney? Is that what you said?
Remember, he was a pretty darn good quarterback in his day.
Yeah. He was really good at Tulsa. Yeah.
Yep. And he's once again one of those got young, energetic coach on the rise. People are talking about Neuheisel getting the job. I shouldn't laugh because crazier things have happened. But I would hope that they start at least with Tim Skipper if they're staying in house. But once again, some of the bigger names.
I think Tim
Skipper.
I
would look out for another guy that's a young quarterback too, even younger. He's actually younger than me, so he's really young. I would look out for Davis Webb to come around. So, yeah, for some of these
NFL teams might even interview him for head coach.
Yeah, so he got interviewed for the Jags. In between Cohen. Now he was never gonna get the job, but he's 30 years old. He turns 31 next year. He's with the Broncos right now as a quarterback coach and passing game coordinator, but I would look out for him to be a hot name. And obviously he's not going to get a huge job, but he might get a job to replace somebody that you guys are talking about.
Right. If CJ Kinney leaves Texas State, if Sumrall leaves Tulsa, Tulane. He should be. He's earned it happened fast. Because I feel like I was talking to him like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, I had him on your show, right? A few years ago.
No.
Yeah, he just played his last season in the NFL was 2022. Yeah. He got drafted in 2017. Like it's crazy that he flipped it that fast.
Yeah. God, it's amazing.
That wasn't that long ago. 10 years ago. Well, not even 10, 8.
Not even 10. But yeah, so we'll at least for a while park the conversation regarding it is fascinating. I promise we'll revisit it. Probably revisiting it the rest of the year, in fact. But
because I bet you there'll be firings I bet you there's firings this weekend.
Oh, right. We'll talk about I think every week for the rest of the season we'll be able to talk about this will be now a permanent part of the show.
I agree. You're probably right.
So I am interested and excited, obviously, but I'm going to start with, the game I'm supposed that is the most interesting game to a lot of people, including my co-host, Mr. Matt Brunelli. I'll start with our guest, Alabama, Tennessee, Alabama, a game that Matt doesn't look as excited as I hoped he would, but
No. I told you why before we went live. I said why.
but we have to talk about it anyway, Matt. We can't pretend the game's not happening. So
I can't. Let me live in denial.
I'm going to start with our guest, Donovan James. This
Yes, sir.
is first of all, this is a rivalry game. Now, some people doubt that it's a rivalry game, but I would say to you, first of all, watch some of the old games between these two teams, and talk to maybe your father, your uncle, somebody. Now, Tennessee went through a rough patch, but this was a legit, big time, just brutal rivalry for many, many years in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. Lightened up a little bit. Then it came back full force when Peyton was at Tennessee. I mean, but this is a legit rivalry game. One, have you ever been to the Tennessee-Alabama game?
I've never been to Tennessee, Alabama, no, but my best friend is a Tennessee fan, so shout out to Chasen. But yeah, he's a Tennessee guy through and through. Um, actually, I never been to the game, but man, being with his family, his mother passed away 2 years ago when you guys beat Alabama with the field goal miss. That was like the
It
most
was
emotional, and
awful. It was
I
like
was the most
last.
emotional thing I've ever been a part of. Like just because he had lost his parent, and they won, and his mom went to Tennessee, so that was cool. But seeing that, but no, I've never been to the game before.
Okay. Well, let's dig into it. There's
Yeah,
a
man. So yeah, this is there's so many good games this week, right? There's 5 games in the top 25. That's the hasn't happened since week 9 of last year, I believe, if I want to say that correctly. So fun game, 2 great offenses, a lot of balance on both of these offenses. Alabama's hot right now, man. They've been winning these games. They've been Ty Simpson's playing lights out. From the last time I was on the show, we were kind of doubting DeBoer and Ty Simpson, and I definitely do not doubt those guys right now, especially Ty. He's been showing up, man, and showing out the talent that he possessed over, the past 3 years in the waiting has definitely shown his leadership. He's one of the last true Saban guys, you know what I mean? Obviously coming from um high school. He's from Tennessee, so this would be a big game for him. Obviously I know his dad's a coach at UT Martin, and his whole family's from Tennessee. He got an offer from Tennessee, and he's a big Tennessee guy. But he's playing for Alabama this weekend, and he's gonna be lights out, man. The way he's been throwing the ball with that offensive line. Caden Proctor's another guy we were talking about. He's been playing well, and the way they've been using him is awesome. Yeah, he still hasn't lost that much weight, but he's been playing really good. But no, I'm excited, man. Tennessee, only loss is to Georgia, and overtime game, fluky game. They really should have won. But this is gonna be tough, man. Going to Tuscaloosa at night. Crowd is kind of mid sometimes at Tuscaloosa, but this will not be a mid game. This game's going to be rocking, man. These fans are spoiled for sure. I've talked to enough of them, but this game, this is one of the biggest rivalries in the South and in the country. But breaking it down just a little bit further before I let you guys get to it, I'm looking for playmakers all over the board, man. I'm looking for Chris Brazil the second. I'm looking for Bray Hubbard, who leads the SEC interceptions. Brazil has the most touchdowns in the Southeastern Conference this year, so I'm looking for Caden Proctor to block, and I'm looking for, Jams hurt. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? What are they going to do at running back? Ryan Williams got to catch the ball a little bit better. Looking for the playmakers to really step up. Jeremy Bernard's been playing really good this year. Really big fan of his. Think he really shined this year. I'm glad he stayed around in Tuscaloosa. But Tennessee's been a little sloppy with penalties, and Aguilar's not playing his best ball like he was playing earlier. So I do lean towards. I don't know if you guys want me to give a prediction yet or just
you can get whatever you want.
okay. Yeah, I'll just cut it short, man. I know you guys have a long show and stuff, but Alabama, Tennessee, it's 8.5 if I'm not mistaken right now. Is the spread
7.5.
some 7.5, 8.5, 7.5, whatever, something like that.
There's no point difference.
That's a that's a tough. It's a tough one as far as cover. Like I would say, like if I was I am a betting man, but if I was a betting man, I would probably take Tennessee to cover, but I think Alabama will win the game outright. Like I would take Alabama by 5-6 points to win this game. I just think the way Todd Simpson's playing right now, um, and the way the offensive line is playing, and how they're just playing for each other, man. They're really playing together. Like that's something I think they've lacked since Saban has gone. Out of the sidelines is playing together. Some people are playing for themselves, and I think Alabama will play. They're playing together, talking to a lot of these players. They've just been lights out, man, in the locker room and practice. They really want it. And I'm not sitting here and saying they won't have another hiccup. They might, but I don't think it'll be this weekend. I think they'll win 30-24 by 6. I think their defense will do enough and they just won't make as many mistakes. I think Aguilar is due for kind of some guys are just due. Like they're gonna throw a pick. They're gonna make a mistake. Like that's kind of how I feel like Tennessee is a little bit. Alabama, not so much, especially lately. So I think they'll win this game. And it's at home. If this was in Knoxville, with that crowd, how loud they are, man. Because I was just there, I mean, when Georgia won, like I might lean the other way, but at night I'll go home Alabama, Ty Simpson and those boys. Even if Jam doesn't play or is limited, I'll still go with him. But I will say the guy that will win the game for Tennessee if they are supposed to win has got to be Brazil, man. He can do some. He's special, like super duper special to me. Like first round pick, top 10 even. Like he might be wide receiver 1 when it's all said and done. Special for this class. Like he has that much upside, and he's just so special. And he's a veteran with upside, which is bonus. But I think look for Bray Hubbard to get a pick late, maybe in this game, and Todd Simpson to just keep dealing and throwing the ball to Jeremy Bernard and those boys and Ryan Williams. I think they win. Like I said, 30-24 is my final score.
Okay. I know reluctantly, I'm going to ask my host who has been trying to duck this game, but he can't. It's only maybe one of the most important games of the year, so we do have to actually discuss it. So, Matt.
So I disagree with a lot what Donovan says, not as hating on him, but Joey Aguilar hasn't been playing bad. Joey Aguilar has been playing very well. The 2 interceptions against Mississippi State were actually right off the hands of his wide receivers that went straight in the air, and his wide receivers were dropping the ball left and right throughout that game. So Joey Aguilar has not been playing bad. Joey Aguilar has been playing very well still. It's just that we have also went back to our run game because we decided hey, we shouldn't probably be going 70-30. So the passing game has come down a little bit. And we have used our running attack again with our 3-headed monsters, Deshaun Bishop and Peyton Lewis and company. So we have the number 1 scoring offense. So to say we're not going to get, we've scored average of 49 points a game. To say we're not even going to get half of that in this game against an Alabama defense that has been suspect throughout most of the year, I think is a little hurtful against Tennessee's offense. I don't think Alabama's defense is that good to stop us. I think this is going to be a barn burner. I do think it is, 59.5 over, and I would smack that over all day, every day right now. If I'm a bet, I am a betting man as well, but I'm not as big into betting. I would, 59.5 over. I'm smashing that all day. I think this is going to be like a 37-40 game. I do think it potentially is going to be last second field goal. It could be near the end of the game. Alabama gets in front and wins by 10. I wouldn't be shocked by that. But I think you're disrespecting the Tennessee offense. I do think they are the number 1 offense in college football for a reason. And I don't think Alabama's defense is that elite to stop us. I mean, Missouri 20. I don't think any offense they've really played has been as potent as Tennessee's offense. And when they did play a potent offense, they lost to it. So I do think Alabama wins. I'm not saying that, but I do think Tennessee does put up more than 24 points. I do think Tennessee gets up into the 30, 35, and it's like a 30. Tennessee's defense is averaging 29 points a game. So that's our biggest weakness. It's not our offense. We're putting up 49. So we're covering 20 points there. And that's why we're winning. Alabama's defense is one of the better ones. I mean, we put up 40 against Georgia. Georgia has a good defense. I think we could put up 40 against Alabama, but I don't think our defense can stop Alabama. So that's the game. Can our defense make a play? If our defense can turn over get a forced fumble, interception against Ty Simpson, multiple sacks, that's the game, and that's how Tennessee wins. But this defense has not shown me one time throughout this year. Ricky Gibson and Gerard McCoy are ruled out again. So, I mean, I think these wide receivers have a field day. I mean, I do love Colton Hood. I know people have moved Colton Hood into the first round talks, but I hope to. I mean, with our rookie, our true freshman starting on the other side, I don't think anybody. Ty Redmond. I think Ryan Williams or the other guys are going to have a field day, and that's how we're going to lose. Is that he's going to get attacked? There's going to be one of these wide receivers that has 7 catches for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And that brings me to my next question to Donovan. I'll start with Donovan.
Yeah.
Give me a player that we haven't discussed. Maybe a player that isn't even a starter, but a player that you think sort of makes themselves a bit of a star, makes a splash in this game that isn't one of the above the head, top of the marquee players, but manages to make a big impact on this game. Who do you think that would be and why?
That's a good question. Good question. I'll say Keon Sabb as safety because everybody's so focused on Bray Hubbard, but Keon's a damn good player too. Like this Alabama defense, and I get it, like the point scored, but like I kind of thought the same thing with like the Indiana Oregon game. Like Oregon's offense was amazing, and I think like Indiana did their thing. I think it would kind of be the same type of game. I know that one was by 10, but kind of like the same style of game, if that makes sense. Kind of to retract what was said because I mean Alabama's defense is. I mean, they're really good, man. Like, I know it's not like your Nick Saban old school Alabama defense where they're number 1 in everything, but they're like top 20 in every stat. So they're really good. They have like 7 first round picks still. I don't like. It's just crazy. People like Alabama's like dropped off on defense. I'm like, not really. Like they just don't have. I mean, LT Overton, Keenan, James Smith, Qual Rosal. I mean, Deontay Lawson's a first round pick.
One of those guys goes in the first round, not 7. If any of them go in the first round, saying 7 Alabama defenders go in the first round.
I see 4 locks to me, but that's just me.
We are in October.
Yeah,
draft is in April. There is no locks.
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but I see 7. I mean, for me to even be saying 7, I can't really say that about many defense. And then Georgia's defense is not as good as Alabama. And I'm a Georgia fan and watched Georgia in person twice this year. Their defense has dropped off a lot. They just have more depth. Alabama doesn't have depth though. That's the only thing I'll say. But to answer your question is Keon Sabb, another guy that I love. I think he'll come out next year, probably not this year, but he's a guy that's probably going to be in first round buzz next year. He came over from IMG Academy, transferred from Michigan. Love how he plays. Love his cover corner. He's got to get better at tackling, but I think he'll have a big game and kind of make an impact. Because, like I said, Bray Hubbard gets all the love. He's super talented too. He's a playmaker. But Keon Sabb, man, that guy's special. Coming over from Michigan, like I said, got to see him in high school. He's always been a really good player, and yeah, he's got to help out. He's got to help out with their secondary. Has been a little like that's the corners is what Alabama's weakness is. Damani Jackson's up and down like he always has been his whole career. He's really good when he is really bad. Dijon Lee, true freshman, super talented, but a true freshman, and then Zabian Brown is another young guy that first time starting really. So that he's got to really help out because Sabb, you can kind of play him in the slot a little bit and at safety. You can switch out Bray and Keon too, and they can kind of put Kirkpatrick at safety, and they've done that a lot from what I've seen. So I think Sabb, that's a guy you can move around in the box. He can thump a little bit. He whiffs on tackles because he tries to hit so hard, but if he could just wrap, he'll be better. But yeah, I'll go Keon Sabb. Transfer from Michigan. I'll go him as my key player.
Same question to you, Mr. Brunelli. Who's a player that we haven't discussed yet you think has a big impact in this game?
The easy one, the rival, the revenge game. You got Miles Kitcheman coming back home against Alabama. He's been quiet all year long. He's been saving his time for this game. Going to go for 120 and 2 touchdowns this weekend. That's going to be the big thing. Can he take advantage of the seam? Can he take advantage of the outside in the red zone? Can we get Miles Kitcheman going and get him to be the X factor in this game? You talk about Brazel, who is an amazing, potential first-round draft pick. He still can return, so we don't know what his future holds. But I think the big thing is Kitcheman on offense, getting him to be a mismatch against this team. Because when we can get Kitcheman moving into this offense, that's going to be the big thing. And then we've already discussed it a little bit, but we talked about the Tennessee secondary. I think if we can get Farouk going at the safety position for these safeties And also, you want to talk about another one, Boo Carter at the slot position. If he can help, if those two guys can step up big this weekend against the passing offense, would be huge for the Tennessee defense. So you got Miles Kitchman on offense, Boo Carter, and Farouk on the defense to make plays to hopefully stop this hot offense of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
I come down sort of between the two of you. I think this game will have moments of shootout-ishness, but I think there'll be places where both these defenses, sometimes maligned defenses, will come up and make plays as well. You said the over-under on this game is what again, Matt?
59.5.
Ooh, that's probably about right.
I'm smashing over.
That's a good. I have it 54, I guess, but that's good. 59.5 as well. That's what it should be. But I mean, you just.
And
know
I
how
guess
it is
another one
sometimes.
too. The player Tyree West on the defensive line. Another guy you got to talk about and think about. He's back. He's healthy. You got David Hobbs back as well. But Tyree West has been a monster on the inside, interior off. And if he can take advantage and get some pressure on Ty Simpson.
Right. And bottle up the run game, though. This is not, your uncle's Alabama run game or whatever you want to say.
That is the big thing. I'm as we discussed earlier. This is gonna be a passing game. I mean, Tennessee has a run game. We average over 150, almost 170 yards a game. I can't remember off the top of my head. We haven't run the game. We like to run the ball. Can we run it successfully against Alabama? I would say we still should get to our, who's going to be the hot hand. That's what Tennessee loves to do. We have three-headed monsters. We got Star Thomas, we got Bishop, and we got Lewis. Who's going to be the guy who's going to be the hot hand, and who's going to go and try to have a big game as well?
Staying in the SEC, no rest for the weary for Georgia.
Hold on. Who's your prediction, sir?
Oh, okay. So you're right. Let me put myself back on the hot seat. I'm not going to go out and go all the way to saying Tennessee pulls the upset, but I think this is a back and forth, tight game. I think in terms of score, I think it's like a 50. It says 59. So I think it's
49 points is what we average on the offense.
Right. And I think you probably score right around 30 points, and I think the other team scores probably right about 31. I mean, I think it'll be that kind of game, like 33-30, that kind of game, like really tight.
It could be a last possession. Who has the ball? Who can move the field and kick a game-winning field goal?
And,
like it has been in the past.
And that's one thing we haven't really talked about is special teams. I won't be surprised if there's a big special teams play, like a return or a block or.
Hope it's not Max Gilbert trying to kick a game-winning field goal.
You had to go there. You had to go there. Could have just let
Alabama's kicker not good either, though. I will say that. Like, they don't trust their kicker at all. Like, he can't make a field goal. He's not good
Max
at.
Max has been great. Like, don't get
no, Max Gilbert's actually a good kicker, but he's better than Alabama's kicker.
he's been good, but when we needed him, he failed us big time.
Yeah, well, Alabama hasn't even had to really. Well, they've used their kicker. I don't think Connor Talty's that good.
Yeah, kickers, don't they rotate like between two kickers?
Yeah, they got Connor Talty, and then they got that true freshman walk on. He's like 17-year-old kid. I definitely wouldn't trust him, dude. Like, walk on 17-year-old kicker is crazy. That just sounds so bad. Like I don't want to. Maybe he might be good. I don't know. But
he might be. I guess they're hoping we won't have to find out.
Yeah, well, he's the one that kicks long distance field goals, the walk on.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if it's like a 50-yard field goal, they might be screwed. Tennessee's gonna win.
Can only hope, but I agree with Donovan. I do think Bama wins this game.
Staying in the SEC, no rest for the weary as Georgia faces a very interesting Ole Miss team. Ole Miss has a lot of NFL players on their roster. The knock has always been that Ole Miss is a little, I'm not gonna say soft, that might be too strong a word, but that they aren't the toughest team in the SEC. Has been knocks on Ole Miss in the past, at least. And this Ole Miss team, has players. As you said before, I'm a huge Trinidad Chambliss guy. Been watching him since he was at Ferris State. He comes in immediately to a great situation. Ferris State had won a national championship already. In fact, he has 2 rings from when he was a backup, and then one he won as a starter when he was at Ferris State. But he's a legitimate dual threat, though he's not a super athlete. They've got 4 or 5 people who are going to go in the first 150 picks playing in this game on maybe both sides of the ball, at least on one side of the ball, maybe a couple spring on the other side of the ball. And then Georgia's Georgia. And though it's not vintage Georgia or whatever term you want to use, it's still Georgia. So I'm going to start once again with our guest, Donovan. Take me through what you think about Ole Miss, Georgia.
This will be a fun game, man. Game day is going to be there, and 3:30 kickoff. They got the stripes going in Athens. It's going to be fun. I won't be at this one, sadly, but yeah, I'm excited to see it, man. You got Ole Miss 6-0 overall, 3-0 in the SEC versus Georgia lost. Got the one loss to Bama, but been looking good the past 2 weeks. Last week was kind of rough, like the Auburn game, but they pulled through. It's a tough place to play at night, and they pulled through and they won. They got to just play how they've been playing, man. The defense has been playing well, and the offense, Gunner's been making plays with his legs. What I told people, I was like, this guy is got legs, man. Like he's a good running quarterback. He ran for a lot of yards in high school. People just forget about him running the ball. They have more weapons on the offense now, so he's able to run, which is good. Noah Thomas and Kobe Young and Zach Branch and those guys. Dylan Bell, of course. So I'm excited just to see the matchup from Georgia's defensive standpoint because they are getting better. Like I've kind of got on the Georgia's defense and Will Schumann and all those guys for Glenn Schumann, excuse me, for all those guys not being as good on defense, but they're kind of getting better. They're still a little bit of a young defense, but they've got to play better in the first half. That goes for offense and defense. They can't show up just at halftime, you know what I mean, after halftime and then turn it on. That's kind of what they did versus Tennessee, and they pulled through, and then Auburn last week. And they tried to do it versus Bama, and they shot them in the foot. So they just got to not overthink on the play calling and just kind of play within themselves, not beat themselves. I think Georgia's beating themselves a lot this year. I know they only lost one game, but still, they put themselves in really tough situations, just whether it be a turnover or a false start penalty on like a third down. When they get penalties, it's like the worst time possible. Like you can get a penalty on like 1st and 10, dude. That's not as bad. But getting on 3rd and 1, you know how it is. You guys play football. You guys have been around the game for a long time. It just breaks the soul of your team. So they just can't do that. At home, more relaxed. They played a tough road game in Tennessee, road game at Auburn. So they're back at home at Athens. This will be a fun one. Think it's 7.5 from what I saw last on the spread. Um, I know the lines changed. I haven't looked at the ones today, and they'll change again tomorrow. But
It is
I
still.
it's still 7. Yeah, it probably stay there. It's been 7.5 pretty much the whole time. I just like Georgia's defense and where they're going. I do like Ole Miss though. Let me not get it mistaken. Ole Miss has a damn good football team. I know last week they were favored by like 32 points and almost lost. And I actually had Washington State covering that, and they damn sure covered. But I do like Ole Miss. I like the transfers they got in. Whether it's dribbling or Wallace and all these guys, and like you said, their quarterback Chambliss. I know Simmons, backup quarterback now, but he's still probably one of the best backups in the league if something happens. Defense has gotten better. I feel like they're deeper. I feel like it's kind of funny, Bill. You said they were kind of like soft D a little bit. Um, you're kind of right, a little, kind of. I would say they've kind of been known as the softer team in the SEC, and I also say they're a very top heavy team. Always, they always have these top dogs, top talent, like their team last year, right? Jackson Dart and these boys, but they don't have the depth as some of the other teams in the SEC. That's what I've noticed. But this year they do have it. They've opened it up in the transfer portal. They got a lot deeper on defense, especially. I love what they have. Overall, honestly, this is a really cohesive team. But I will say, prediction wise, I'm going Georgia with this game. Score. This one's tough too, man. Like I kind of these games, like they have high spreads, man. I think a lot of these games go low sometimes when the spread's so high. I don't know what this one is, but I'm probably going lower anyway. I don't know. I don't care. But I would say I think it's gonna be like 17-27, Georgia.
Spread was 54.5.
Okay, I'm under again then. So
Yep. Nothing wrong with
Yeah.
being under. You know.
I'm way under, way under. Yeah, I just think this game. I mean, now I will say, Ole Miss has damn good special teams. You're talking about Bill. You always remind me of special teams. So, I just don't think this game. I think Chambliss might struggle a little bit in this game. Honestly, not running the ball, but throwing the ball. I don't think Ole Miss's receivers are that scary. Like what separated Tennessee and Alabama, those games in Auburn, they've got dudes. Like Cam Coleman is the truth. Like I know he can't come out yet, but he's gonna be that guy for sure next year. I just talked about Brazil, and Mark, you just talked about Tennessee's receivers. They're nasty, and Alabama's got two studs. Like I don't think like Ole Miss receivers scare me. I like Caden Lee and those guys, and then Watkins, but like nobody really scares me. Luke Haas is solid tight end, but I just don't think those guys are scary enough. And they all do it by committee. I like it, but I think they kind of get shut down early. I could see this game being like 10-3 at halftime. Like it's gonna kind of shock some people, but I think Georgia's really, really gonna run the ball. And let's see how much depth you really have up front, Ole Miss. Let's see if we can just pound it 35, 40 times. And that's not including Gunnar Stockton, who's good. The dude runs the ball well, man. Say what you want about him. He can run. He makes plays. And you always forget about him. And he just makes that play. So I got Georgia 27-7. A little bit in the second half, but I'll go Georgia with this game. Expect Gunnar Stockton to just really shine in this game and make some plays, like he always does. Man, it might not be pretty sometimes, but he makes enough plays. He might get that 3rd-and-8 run. You gotta remember that this is a pretty big boy, man. He's not the tallest dude in the world, but he's like 220, 6'1", so he can make some plays. And he just doesn't give a damn too. Like he doesn't care about any like head injuries apparently or like any injuries at all. He's just trying to make a play. So I got Georgia. And again, the coaching matchup. Can't forget about my two favorite SEC coaches.
Yes.
Kirby Smart and Lane Kiffin. Can't wait to see these two because we calling him Fat Boy. He hasn't
Yes.
lost some calories. You know what I mean? Kirby, I don't know if he's gonna like that too much. So we'll see. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see who's got the trick up their sleeve. Like Lane, Lane's got a couple tricks up his
Lane's
sleeve.
gonna probably bust a couple out.
Yeah, but that is gonna be an X factor because if he busts too many tricks out, they might flip the other way. But as just straight up head to head, I would say Georgia by 10.
Okay, got it. Well, same question to my co-host, Mr. Brunelli. How do you see this game playing out?
I do think I do agree that I think Georgia. I think Georgia is the better team. I know they've lost one, and Mississippi is currently undefeated. But Lane Kiffin is 9 for 9 against top 25 teams, and that's while he is at Ole Miss. I do think his overall record is 10-23, so he's been better while being at Ole Miss. But I like Gunnar Stockton. I like having the more proven commodity, proven quarterbacks and proven team and proven coach. I like Lane Kiffin. I think Kirby Smart's a better coach. I love Lane Kiffin. I think Lane Kiffin's a great coach. But also this game is in Georgia and Athens. I always think a night game and the home stadium is always going to go to the home team. In the SEC, definitely that crowd's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a huge game, like you said. Game days there. I like the coach or the quarterback Shameless. This is gonna be a test for him. Night game, Athens.
His first true road game.
Yeah.
Ole Miss has been playing every game at home.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a big test game. It's gonna be a huge to see how he can respond to this. But I think it could be too much. I don't want to assume, but this is gonna be a whole different atmosphere. This is not a home game, not a day game. This is a night game in Athens against one of the best teams in the country with a crazy crowd and a good defense. Let's see how the quarterback. I'm just gonna go with the better quarterback right now, who's been winning and proving it against top matchups in Gunnar Stockton. I think that's gonna be the game breaker. But I think it's the under. I don't go 54.5. I do think it's gonna be a 10-point win for Georgia, and I think it'd be like a 27-17, 24-14, something. I think it's a small 10-point spread. I think Georgia easily wins. I don't think it's ever.
I agree. Georgia has it. I think the night at home is worth about 4 points, and I think that the difference between the teams is about 2.5 points. So you add that, so about 6.5 feels about right to me. I could see this being a 31-24 or a 30-23 kind of game.
Revenge
I
game
think
too. Ole Miss beat them boys bad last year.
Yeah,
yes.
Sloppy
true.
as hell. Sloppy as hell game, but that was a fun one. Well, it
Yeah.
wasn't fun for me, but it was fun. Yeah. It was a fun game to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart came back in with the heroics and stuff. That
Yeah,
was
the
cool.
heroics. I mean, he really did. He put the team. What's the other saying? He put the team on his back, dog.
Yeah.
He did all of that. Yeah.
Simmons held him down though, man, because he really before Jackson got hurt, Simmons threw a dart immediately. He threw it was a 1-for-1, right? He came in his first play was a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, like he did put the team on his back last year. Darty.
Yeah. Uh, I'm in
Stay in the
agreement.
SEC. Oh,
Well,
sorry.
we could. There's some SEC, a couple more SEC games we can certainly
Well,
touch upon.
I was thinking Vandy. I was thinking the Vandy
Yeah.
LSU game, another top
I mean,
25
we have to
matchup.
discuss Vandy LSU. We have to, by law, discuss Vandy LSU. So a little bit of the shine has come off of the Vanderbilt program since, a couple weeks ago when they were talking, big stuff. They're not talking stuff that's not quite so big. But this is an important game for both teams, particularly LSU. LSU still has college football playoff aspirations, but if they drop this game, they will not. It won't be realistic, probably, to still have those. I mean, they could theoretically run the table from this point forward if they drop this game, but I don't like their chances of doing that. I guess is what I'm saying. But I'll start with my co-host this time, since you brought this game up. Talk us through this game. What do you think is going to be the keys to the Vanderbilt game versus LSU?
Okay, so keys are this is the Brian Kelly Hater Club podcast, not the College Football Focus podcast. So the problem is I hate Brian Kelly, and I love Chuck Lee or Clark Lee, but the problem is I hate Diago Pavia, and I want to smack him down a little bit further. I want to, and Vanderbilt fans have got a massive head, so this is a very hard game for a Tennessee fan. I hate Brian Kelly as a person. I hate Vanderbilt, and I hate where they're at right now. So this is a day game in Vanderbilt. That means absolutely nothing. Yes, their fans have been a little bit better. They still don't have a big stadium. And we're talking about LSU who plays at Death Valley. So there's nothing at a day game in Vanderbilt that's going to make this a competitive, that's not a game-changing factor in this game. The Pavio's been playing okay. Nussmeier, who was potential first-round draft pick at the beginning of the season, is definitely not there anymore. I do think this Vanderbilt is a good team. I think it's going to come over to turnovers. Both of these quarterbacks have had some interception issues. I think the big thing is going to be stopping Pavia to be able to run the ball, because that is the Vanderbilt rushing attack is Pavia. He leads the team in rushing. If you can keep Pavia in the pocket and make him throw, I think you easily beat this Vanderbilt team. I think LSU has a better defense. I do think the linebackers keep you spy Pavia. You don't let him run. You let one of these elite linebackers do what they do, and you just you make him check down and beat you with the throw in his arm, and I don't think they can do that. And I think LSU wins this game. I'm trying to get the spread, but here it is. It's only a 2.5 pay. It's only a 3-point 2.5 spread. They have this as a close game. That actually shocks me. They have the Tigers as a favorite by less than a field goal, and it's a 48.5 under or total. I do see the under because Nussmeier hasn't been great, but I don't think 2.5. I don't think Vanderbilt's that good against top teams. I do think Brian Kelly and LSU handle business, and it's going to be an ugly double-digit win.
I would like to make it clear, Don.
I think LSU better. I hate to say it. I hate to admit it. LSU overall is a better team.
Yeah. I want to make it clear, Don, you're not required to also hate Brian Kelly. It is obviously helpful if you at least dislike Brian Kelly, but you're not required.
I think I told you guys last time I don't have a problem with Coach Kells. He's whatever. I get it. I get why people don't like him, but I don't have a problem with him.
But how do you see this game, and what do you think of the key factors in who ends up pulling this game out?
I mean, LSU's banged up, man. Right? Like, I mean, let's talk about that. Braylon Moore's still hurt. Caden Durham's hurt. Aaron Anderson's hurt. Jamar Butler's hurt. I mean hurt. I'm not just saying like questionable in the depth chart. Like they're banged up pretty bad. Um, I know Butler played last week, but he just didn't look like himself. Nussmeier's hurt, obviously, and Will Weeks is hurt now too. So, yeah, I mean it's tough. Like, I mean they are the better team, but like, what team are we gonna get? You know what I mean? Like, have to like that's like six starters right there that are hurt. Now I do love their secondary. They've been playing pretty solid this year. I think Nuss is getting better, getting back to normal. He's getting some zip on the ball now, but he had an ankle sprain right last week, so it's like it's tough. Like he's 2 weeks ago, he had an ankle sprain. The ab is the injury that he's had all year though. He hasn't been 100% all year. He really probably in a perfect world wouldn't have even played because he got re-aggravated that injury in the Clemson game. But they won. They pulled it out. He's tough as hell. It's Gary Nussmeier. He'll figure it out. But yeah. And on the other side, by the way, SEC Unfiltered is going to be at that game. We do our tour every week. We're going to be in Nashville. So they're already in Nashville actually right now. I'm not there, but I wish I was. But anyway, yeah. I mean, Pavi and the boys playing at home. Big game for them. Still a lot of playoff, implication for both teams. This one was actually tougher than all the games that we've picked so far for me. Just because I do like this Vandy team. Like I really think that Alabama game they let get away, but like man, they had a lot of chances earlier. They just shot themselves in the foot, especially like probably a fumble early where they could have went up like big. The Alabama, you just can't keep that team in the game. You got to put them away early. So that's tough. But yeah, I mean, oh boy, man, this is tough. This is tough. I got LSU winning a very, very close game. This is the game I feel like that's going to go down to a game-winning field goal and be something close at the end. Not the other two. It'll be this one. I have it 20, 28-27 LSU.
Okay, I can see that.
It'll be super
So
damn good because I have it by 1 point. LSU on the road. Nussmeier pulls off a win. They get a late turnover. It might be. I can't think of that corner's name from LSU right now. You know I'm talking about. You know I'm talking about. I can't think of his name. I'm drawing a blank on it right now. But I think he's like supposed to be a top pick in the draft.
Yep.
Dior is I'm messing up his last name. But anyway, I think they figure it out, man. Harold Perkins, Mansour Delani, excuse me, that corner. Yeah, I think they pull it out with a late turnover. Pavia, love him, but man, he's a risk taker. He might throw one. Dominic McKinley is a key player to watch, by the way, because I like Vandy's O-line, but they give up a lot of pressure, like up the middle, like those guards, and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? So I think Pavia, he loves the run. He's better on the run anyway, which is fine. But Dominic McKinley might make a splash. He's been pretty solid this year, honestly. So, and then obviously with Weeks, like I mean, if he's healthy, he's going to be good. And Harold Perkins, those boys have just been good for so long. But yeah, I think DeLon makes a late play at the end of the game, and they win by 1 point. LSU by 1. And yeah, DeLon's coming from Virginia Tech, so I know you watched him a lot, Bill.
That is correct.
Last year.
I feel like this would have been a quote unquote.
I can't hear it.
I can hear you, Bill.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Donovan, we can't see you anymore, so I'm going to drop you down, and maybe you can reconfigure or restart your stuff or whatever. But I think this would have been a get-right game, as much as I hate to say it, if LSU were healthy. But, once again, that's the whole thing. At this point in the season, a lot of teams aren't healthy. I think that Vanderbilt makes this a very unpleasant experience. I do think that they pull away right at the end. I think Nussmeier is the guy. I think he makes one of those plays where he gets drilled, right? But he stares down the teeth of it, gets drilled, gets the ball out, and makes that. I'm going to say he throws the ball to a tight end, but not a starting tight end. I think like a backup tight end catches a late back of the end zone touchdown from Garrett Nussmeier to put it away right at the end.
So I didn't know if you guys could hear me. I couldn't hear you guys.
No,
so.
you were perfectly fine. We
could
hear you. Just couldn't see you. It was weird.
Okay. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I'm hopefully you can. Well, I don't know if you want to see me, but hopefully you can. I was like, hopefully you can see me. You probably don't want to. That'll look horrible. I'm not shaving until the Georgia Florida game because they're doing it
There we
live.
go.
But SEC unfiltered's come into town. They're gonna shave my beard to a mustache. I'm not happy about it. I don't want those dudes shaving me drunk at 10 in the morning. But
Oh,
well, they won't be drunk at 10 in the morning. It'll be
oh,
right when they get there.
okay.
I'm gonna have them shave me right when they get there, so that'll be good.
Okay, before they have a chance to fall
Get
into
rid.
the
Yeah.
claws of the white. So we do have to at some point discuss the Big Ten and the Pac or whatever it is. We do. There are some Big Ten games worth mentioning. Now, Ohio State should have a fairly easy time against Wisconsin. We don't have to spend too much time on that game, unless someone wants to make a quick call for an upset. But I'm thinking no one does.
Luke Fickell loses his job.
So this is the whole meme with the every week the rest of the season the Grim Reaper visits somebody. Okay,
Yeah,
so apparently the Grim Reaper is visiting Luke Fickell this week. Okay,
Yeah.
I do want to see who's gonna start at quarterback for Wisconsin. I'm just saying, like I know it probably doesn't matter, but I do because they've gone what this is quarterback 3 now.
Quarterback 3.
Hunter Simmons and then Danny O'Neal from San Diego State, and then they got the new kid coming. So I kind of want to see, who plays that quarterback. But I guess it doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
They might. Well, I just heard they might play all 3 quarterbacks, which you really don't
there
see
you go.
3.
There we go. Yeah. Ohio State's defense is going to have a field day. That's it. Ohio State's defense is
They've been trying to keep it a mystery, I guess, on purpose because they have to watch tape on.
The reason Ohio State is as good as they are is that defense. It's not that offense. Me and Bill talked about this.
Yep.
That offense has been good enough, not great. That defense has been amazing.
What quarterback would you go with? You go with?
It doesn't matter. They've all been bad. Luke Fick. You could start any one of them, and Ohio State will pick them apart.
I would honestly go with Carter Smith, a true freshman, because they don't have tape on him. So I would just go with them. I mean, high school tape, but you can only do so much with his tape in high. But he's a true freshman. He's never started. I know that's a tough place to. You got your first start ever.
It's not at Ohio State.
So well, yeah, it's at home. But your first game ever as a starter in your career is at not at Ohio State, literally, but yeah, versus Ohio State. But I would go with Carter Smith's got talent. I mean, why not? What do you have to lose?
Right. Good point. Well, the game and your job. But
I mean,
they worked out for Matt Barkley, starting out your career against Ohio State. It wasn't a road. It was sort of a road. It was, I guess, neutral site game.
No, Matt Barkley's was a true road game. They went to the shoe.
True road game, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Matt Barkley.
And he turned 18 the day before.
Right, the day before. Who I think is still in the league somewhere, right? He's still.
No, not.
He's not anymore. He's not anymore. Yeah, he was though. He's not anymore. Yeah.
Well, then he's probably a big shooter in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I have to talk Purdue and Northwestern for 2 reasons. One is I just wrote an article about it, which you'll see soon on Team MBS Media. But also, if Northwestern wins this game, they are 2/3 of the way to being bowl eligible, which may not be a big deal to everybody, but certainly a big deal in Evanston. And obviously Purdue is not great. So
if Northwestern wins the game, they're 1 game away from bowl eligible.
That's right, 1 game.
Yeah, they're 4-2 right now.
Already 4-2. Way to go, Northwestern. Okay, so they are 1 game away.
Whoever that head coach is, hire him. If he's winning at Northwestern, he's a great head coach.
I mean, they managed to win a game against, at that point, a bad UCLA team. Then they managed to beat a Penn State team that was supposed to be good, but ended up not really being good, even though they were 20.5-point underdogs. Barry Odom is 1-2-1 against the spread so far, for whatever that means to you. Here's what I'm going to say about this game. Purdue struggles to run the football. We talked about it's not always a great thing when your quarterback is your leading rusher. Well, Ryan Brown with an E. Ryan Brown with an E is the leading rusher for Purdue. Purdue's defense has a secondary player who I think will actually play in the NFL. But he may be literally the only true, for sure, NFL prospect on that defense that I've identified, at least. Now, I'll watch this game, and then maybe I'll find some others. They have a couple of offensive linemen that I think are pretty good. Their receivers, I think, are good, but they don't throw the ball well enough to really be able to tell. I feel weird picking Northwestern over anybody, but I feel like as long as they don't turn the ball over a bunch, they should win this game and should win it by probably about, 10 points.
It's only a 2.5 spread for Purdue. They have Purdue.
Well, I think Northwestern covers. I think
if you're wondering, Maccabee is the leading rusher for Purdue.
Is he?
Yes, by a lot.
Okay, you know what? Maccabee is leading rusher. He's got 600 yards on there, right? He's number 5.
He has like 400 and like something.
Right.
He's averaging 3.9 a carry. I mean,
Maccabee's
you're giving no love to the running back in Purdue who's having a decent season on a bad
and he
team.
is. Actually, he's a pretty darn good running back. I think he may not be drafted, but he's gonna make a team.
He'll get a little nod. He'll get an invite to the camp.
Well, yeah, I think he'll make a team. He may probably is a special teamer, reserve kind of guy, but I think he makes a team. Let's see.
I do agree though. This Northwestern team's on a run right now, so I think they win this game, and it's at home.
Right.
It's a day.
Jumping back briefly to the SEC, because there's at least one SEC game I want to make sure we get in there before we close out this week's show. We talked about, of course, the banana peel at the top of the stairs and Billy Napier walking straight towards it. Mississippi State is what's engraved on that banana peel. And Mississippi State has lost back-to-back games, which is not great. After getting off to a great start, Jeff Lebby, of course, was an embattled coach himself not that long ago, and maybe he will be again. I think Mississippi State wins and covers. Now, if they win and it gets ugly,
if they win, they cover. They're the underdogs.
Oh, they're
a 10-point underdog. They're 9.5 point underdog. They have Florida State as a 10-point favorite.
Florida's getting 9.5.
9.5 for Florida.
Oh, this is one of those bet the insulin money. Like, okay, that money you said you would never bet that money. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think so. I talk about Luke Fickell being fired. If Napier loses this game, I think it's one of these guys. It's finally Napier's chopping block or Luke Fickell. Whoever has a horrible day in the office, I think this is the weekend. The Grim Reaper is at your door because it is a 10-point favorite for Florida. I still love Jeff Lebby in Mississippi State. They fought a good fight against Texas A&M for a while. Right. Yes, Texas A&M blew out, but I mean, this Mississippi State has a horrible offensive line. You know, they dealt what they could bid. Donovan talked about penalties. This poor Mississippi State team can't stop hurting themselves, but neither can the Florida team. This is bad against bad. I think Jeff Lebby is a better head coach than Billy Napier. I think Lebby is teaching this team to be a dog-fighting team. They fought everybody well. This is a 4:00 game in Florida, so it's not a full night game. I think these fans are kind of over this season, so I don't think you're going to get the crazy atmosphere in Gainesville. I think fans are kind of ready to see Billy gone. So I'm with Bill here. I'm putting that money on Mississippi State this weekend to win. A 10-point favorite, I think that's insane. And if worst case, I don't think Florida covers by 10.
Yeah, I mean, first, even if they somehow win, I can't see them covering. Hit 2 more games before we close this thing out. Sticking in the.
I have Florida winning by 17. By the way, just to let y'all know.
Oh wow! Well, that's bold.
When I saw that spread, I was like, "Yeah, I mean, this is like a typical Florida win, though." Like, I mean, like the Texas game when they beat Texas, I was like, "Yeah, of course they beat them," because Napier's gonna he's a teaser. Like, you ever been teased by a girl, dude? Like, this is the tease game. They're gonna look. This is the game they're gonna look really good, and he's not gonna get fired, and they're gonna lose next week, and he's gonna get fired. It's like, come on, we've seen this. This is what happened. And Mississippi State can't beat a SEC team to save their damn life. They've won 1 out of 19.
1 out of 19. You're right about that. This ain't
it. This ain't it for them. No,
that's not it. This is why this game is so interesting to me. Does Mississippi State sort of prove that they're not bad, or does Florida State prove that they are ready to pack it in? This is going to be like a loser leave town kind of match, kind of thing.
I don't think this is a game. I don't think Florida's that good. I think Mississippi State handles business this weekend.
I think even if Mississippi State loses, they lose a nail biter. I don't think
This Florida team does. That Texas was the flirt, and this is the game that Florida should win, and they don't win.
Well, we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Missouri Auburn is fascinating to me. Missouri at Auburn is a fascinating game to me. I think Missouri is giving it 1.5, if I remember correctly.
Yes, 1.5 for.
Which is interesting to me.
Hardy disappointed me last week.
Yes, I know. I'm leaning towards taking the over, and I'm leaning towards
43.5. That's not much of that's.
Yeah. I feel like that's once again maybe not the insulin money, but that money you're supposed to pay that parking ticket with. It can wait a week. Let's see. Just trying to.
I think this is a little hurtful towards Mizzou. I get it's in Auburn. I get it's a night game in Auburn, but Jackson hasn't been great.
Nope.
Missouri has been great. They've lost to Alabama barely, and you're only giving them 1.5. I mean, Perbula, how do you say his name? The quarterback? Perbula. He's been great. Hardy's been great. The Auburn defense has not been as good as people expected with some of their line. I think that Mizzou handily wins this game. 1.5. This is again me slamming. This is the insulin money. I think you're safe to say that Mizzou wins easily more than by 1.5. And I think that spread at 43.5.
Over.
Yeah. I think that's easy.
I'm flipping on the over too. What do you say, Donovan?
Yeah, I would take the over, but I have Auburn winning. It's just the fact that can they come out and kind of just they got to shake off. They should have already. It's Thursday night. Like if they didn't shake off that by now, they're gonna lose. What happened last week because they for like 45, 50 minutes outplayed Georgia. To me, Georgia's got away with a lot. Like I'm not gonna front. I keep it 100 all the time. You know what I mean? I try to do it anyway, but like Georgia got away with shit and stuff. Sorry. And they this isn't Josh's show. I can't be cursing. But anyway, no, like they got away with a lot. Auburn played a hell of a game. They got the Oklahoma game. I could say the same thing. Like they're almost there. They were super close. I think this is the game they kind of break through. It'll be close though. I have it by 3 points, and I'm definitely taking the over. That's a low under. I think Arnold has been up and down for sure, but he's got dudes on the outside, so that's helping him out a lot. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback, but when you have Cam Coleman and some of those boys. I mean, it's going to make you look a little bit better. Their offensive line hasn't been great either. They've been up and down. They get a lot of penalties as well, but I still think they win. I think their defense plays pretty sound and pretty well. Very athletic defense. Love Bo Perbilla. Love Hardy. Love Missouri and what they did. I picked them to win 9 games this year, and I still think they will, but I think they do have a letdown. Because both of them are coming off emotional wins. They both got to bounce back. You got to forget that you lost to Bama. You still got your whole season ahead of you in the playoffs, potentially. But got to pick somebody, right? So I got to pick Auburn. But it'll be really close. Like LSU, Vandy, same thing. I think it'll be a one-possession game.
Very similar, right. And it's funny, Jackson Arnold has played more like Arnold Jackson at times.
He's frustrating. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk. I can rant about
it. For those of you too young to remember, Arnold and Willis Jackson were the sons that were adopted on different strokes. But getting back to you're too young to remember.
I haven't seen different. Well, I've watched that show before, like on Nick. What was it? Nick at Night? Was that what they call it? Yeah, Nick at Night. You remember Nick at Night?
Yeah, I didn't have to watch it on Nick at Night, but let's keep going. Last few games. The Mental Toughness Bowl, Penn State, Iowa. Penn State's going to Iowa with seemingly almost nothing to play for. This is definitely one of those games where we find out how much do you love ball, how much do you love each other as teammates. Weirdly, I think Penn State plays its best football of the season. I think that we see the Penn State we thought we were going to see. I mean, they've had one. I think the game against Oregon was actually a really well-played game on all faces as well. But I think the team that almost beat Oregon is the team that shows up against a frankly outgunned, outmanned, out whatevered Iowa. I think that Penn State wins this game going away. But Iowa's never going to fire their coach. He's going to retire when he finally gets tired of coaching. I think that's pretty clear to anyone who's ever watched Iowa football. They don't care. Not they don't care. I mean, they care, but they clearly are.
They have too much loyalty.
Right. Or the right amount of loyalty. I mean, maybe we shouldn't fire somebody because of a couple of bad seasons after, being great for many years. I mean, maybe that's how it should be. Before we treat this like it's, semi-pro, which I guess it feels more like nowadays. But I'm going to go to my co-host. How do you see this game playing out?
Penn State loses. Aller's out. I don't think they have the roster. I think this team lost their spark when James Franklin, the players love Franklin. We all know the players love Franklin. Franklin was a beloved coach. They made a business decision, understandably why. It is kind of saying that they were a play away from being in a national championship last year, and then, lost in overtime against the Oregon team, and now the guy lost his job 2 weeks later. But I do think Iowa's his offense has been decent. It's been moving better than it has been. This Penn State defense has had holes and allowed bad offenses to move up and down on them at times. I just think the sales out of this win. I think this Penn State team kind of just struggles the rest of the year. I do have Iowa winning this game though.
Okay, same question to you, Donovan.
Man, this is tough. Hey, shout out to Terry Smith though, taking over. I know it's tough for him, and he's gonna. I like Terry Smith. He's been there for a long time. Just when Franklin got hired, he was there too. So he's been there the whole time. He's done a hell of a job with the DBs, and I'm happy he's getting a chance to shine. He won't be the head coach at Penn State, but he'll be the head coach somewhere else. He's been due for a while. But and a shout out to Ethan Grunkmeyer too. He's going to be able to take over at quarterback and show what he's worth and show probably in the transfer portal. He's showing off for that. Like you said, his amateur pro-am. He's probably just showing off for what school he's going to next year. But and I like Ethan Grunkmeyer. He's a solid quarterback coming out of high school. He's all right. I mean. Jackson Smolik too, I guess maybe might play, but I got Iowa. Like I just don't. Their season, I know they still have Nick Singleton and Katron Allen and Luke Reynolds and these boys. Man, I mean, I picked them to win the national championship. So like, sorry, like I know. That's why I say I keep it 100. Call myself out. That's not happening, and the season's over. They still have a lot to play for. A lot of these guys are NFL talent. AJ Harris and Dennis Sutton and these boys. I think they're a good team, and I still think they win a few games at the end of the season, but not this one. Playing Iowa. Iowa's a damn good team. I mean, they gave Indiana a run for their money a few weeks ago. And their style of play, they're gonna make it a long day for Mr. Ethan Grunkmeyer in his first start. So I got Iowa. They keep it simple, keep it not fun, keep it interesting though, and win. It'll be like a weird 20-16 game. Like the Indiana score was 20-50. It'll be somewhat similar to that, except Iowa wins instead of losing. But I got Iowa winning this game. But I see what you're saying, Bill. A lot of seniors on this team, a lot of dudes that came back. Drew Shelton already said, "Hey man, we had a player only meeting with all seniors." Not just players only, like only seniors, like you know what I mean? Like we're getting this done. Like our job's not finished. We still want to win the rest of our games. And that's what you're supposed to say. Like Drew Shelton has been there for 4 years as a starter. It's rare now. Been there for 4 years, not transfer. So like I like him saying that. I like these boys, Nick Dawkins and all these guys, Rucci, the seniors. Like that's good, but I don't know, man. I'm giving up on Penn State. I'm not picking them anymore. I'm on the other side. I can't pick them anymore. I picked them with the Natty. I'm done.
I got you. Okay, so we got to finish up with our last two traditional rivalries. One that I'm glad is back, the quote-unquote Holy War, BYU-Utah. The one that splits the state of Utah, splits households, splits neighborhoods, destroys friendships, wipes out marriages. This is a rivalry.
Guy just got arrested for death threats. BYU Utah today.
I don't think people realize what a heated, like blood curdling rivalry this is outside of maybe just the people in that part of the country. It is one of the top 5 or 6 rivalries in all of college football. And if you don't believe me, go to one of these games. But BYU, of course, this year is the better football team. I think Utah plays its best football. Best football they played so far this year, but I don't think it'll be enough. I think that eventually just BYU's talent advantage allows them to survive this game. I think 41-ish points probably wins this game.
The over is 49.5.
Right. So I think that
you're saying smash the over is what you're saying right now.
Well, I think BYU scores like 31, 32-ish, and I think, so I think about 50 points will be scored. I think about 32, 33 points to 17. So yeah, I think about 49 points will be scored altogether. I think BYU pulls away. I think it's close at halftime, and I think BYU pulls away. That's usually when one team is just deeper and more talented, and the other team's playing on emotion. It's very close, and then at halftime, that emotion starts to sort of. I mean, if you play, once again, we all play. If you played in one of these games where you know what I'm talking about, like you're feeling great, you're with this team that you've never been able to, you never thought you'd stick with. You're maybe even up by 3 or something at halftime, and then they return the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Right? Something happens, and then the air starts to come out of the balloon, and then they pull away. I feel like it's that kind of game. But I'll go to my co-host Matt. How do you see this game playing out the whole?
Oh God, I wanted like Utah. They failed me. They failed me so bad. I thought they would beat Texas Tech. I can't. Sorry, Utah fans. You failed me. I'm not going to pick for you again. I know you haven't lost since then, and you're 5-1. But I do think BYU is a better team, and this is at home at 8:00 at night. I guess that's my 8:00 Eastern. So this is probably a 6:00 start. So I guess it's still a night game technically for that area of the world. It's a close game, 49.5, 3.5 spread. I do think BYU takes the lead. The quarterbacks have pretty been outmatched. Now going back to what Bill says, Dappner, the quarterback for Utah, is the leading rusher for the Utes. So if you're able to stop him and take away his legs, and BYU's defense is pretty solid, I think BYU can walk away with this game. I think it'll be close, but I do think it's probably a 28-20, 17 score. I do think they win.
Where do you come down on this game, Donovan?
Oh man, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. As a West Coast kid that grew up at a school with a head coach who went to BYU, Mormon faith, LDS, my principal too. This game always for me was personal because I had a lot of teammates that either went to BYU. Tyler Beck, shout out Tyler Beck, went to BYU, and a lot of these boys. Hey, the Bachmeyer family is from my hometown. To show you, Hank went to the same high school as me. Yeah, so his brother went to our rival high school. That's playing quarterback now, number 47. But
and he's really good.
Yeah, besides that number, yeah, he's good. I'm still hating on him for that. But yeah, they have impressed me, man. I thought they were gonna lose to Colorado when Colorado was up. I feel like Colorado should have won that game and they choked it away. And BYU they took it really. I won't say they choked, like BYU took it. Utah's the favorite. They're the more talented team, I'll say. They have the more talent on the team. I'm gonna go with Utah, but I'm not very confident. I think Dampier is special. Like he's had moments where he has like Texas Tech game, obviously, but that Texas Tech I feel like was a better team. But other than that, he's played pretty good. Obviously, like he's ran for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns this year. He's thrown for 11, over 1,000 yards. I like Bentley. I like Davis, at receiver. So I'll go with them by 2. It'll be a super duper close game. This might be one of the sneakiest game of the week. We'll say LJ Martin of BYU is X factor because if he can run the rock, you guys will be right. BYU will win, probably not easily, but they'll cruise to win because LJ Martin is really underrated, man.
He's got a lot of Tyler Algier, but a better like finishing kick. He's got a third gear that Algier doesn't have. Algier is one of those one cut and go runners, sort of like Alfred Morris, but he doesn't have that last gear. And while LJ might not be like a sprinter, but once he gets going and he kicks into that third gear, I've seen him pull away from safeties and keep cornerbacks in his blind spot, right? They aren't gaining on him. He may not be pulling away from corners, but they aren't gaining on him. I I think he gets free, and I also think that Bachmeyer makes a couple of big plays, extends some plays, makes some sort of Baker Mayfield esque plays, where you think, oh, they got him, and then he slips away, and I think the number 47 gives him some kind of super strength, Donovan.
I
I'm not
guess
sure.
so. Hey, watch out for Jack Benny on Utah, man. He's been special this year too. He's very underrated player. He he all these players have so many ties together because they're from Utah and they got family this, family
Right,
that. But
exactly.
he's got his family. I won't go on a rant about it. It's crazy. Like his brother goes to Utah, his sister goes there, his dad played at Utah, and his uncle. So like he's like the only one that went like he committed to BYU and then flipped to Utah again. So like that's a pretty big deal. Like all these guys have played each other. There's so much trash talking. Um, but yeah, Jackson Benny from Utah, he's got like 4 interceptions this year. So that could be a big deal. Like if he can get an interception off of our boy Bachmeyer. But Hank's been I mean not Hank, gosh, sorry.
Tiger,
Bear.
bear. Sorry, wrong animal.
Tiger, yeah, yeah. There's so many. There's so many bonfires. No, you're fine. Danny Cannell did the same thing. He called him Tiger, but
Right,
yeah,
it's
Tiger.
bear Bachmeyer. Should
Bear,
remember.
Tiger is there too, but he's a
Yes,
receiver. Yeah,
yes, right.
coming over from Stanford. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, from Stanford.
But no, yeah, this will be a fun game though, man. This route. I mean, yeah, somebody said he was going to shoot everybody up in red today and got arrested. So yeah, you're right about this rivalry. He just got terroristic threats. Took him from his job, straight from the office.
Straight from the office. He was there
Can't be
trying to get
saying you're gonna shoot everybody in red is crazy, man.
he's trying to get his TPS reports filed, and boom, they grab him. And of course, last but never least, one of the great traditional cross-regional rivalries, maybe in the history of the game, USC at Notre Dame. I'm torn because while I've always hated Notre Dame, I love Marcus Freeman. This is going to be a really good game. I think Notre Dame's getting 9.5, which seems a little much to
me. Yeah.
While I could see favoring them, I don't think they're going to cover 9.5.
Well, USC's starting running back is out. Waylon
Jordan's out, right?
Waylon Jordan's out, yeah. Well, they got 2 running backs. They got their backup running backs out too.
Right. And while I feel like that will make a difference,
King Miller starting. The walk-on from Calabasas, yeah. A walk-on. That dude is also like a 3-star. People been like, this guy came out of nowhere. He was really good in high school.
Right. He's a walk-on in the same sense that Reagan Mayfield was a walk-on.
Yeah.
Scholarship offer. He could have gone to North Texas or Sam Houston State or other places on scholarship. He chose to walk on in Texas Tech.
Yeah, King Miller chose to go to the USC because he's from Calabasas, and his brother is the offensive lineman, and his cousin is Mekhi Lemon. So,
right,
yeah.
If he wanted to go to Fresno State, he could have.
Fresno State offered him San Diego State was where I thought he would go.
Right, he had multiple scholarship offers to go lots of good places.
Yeah,
I feel like this is another really close game. I'm not going to go so bold as to pick USC. I do think it's closer than 9.5. What say you, Dominic?
I'm excited for this game, man. Being a Southern California kid, I got a big smile on my face for this one, just because, man, like just the memories, right? Like of this game and just growing up watching it in Southern California, growing up and being an SC guy. But yeah, it's Notre Dame's playing lights out right now. CJ Carr. We gave him a lot of hell coming in the season. Could he be the guy? They lost Steve and Jelly, and they lost Riley Leonard because CJ Carr stepped in. Yeah, he's stepping and playing better than probably most people thought he would. He's making Lloyd Carr, grandpa proud, I guess. You know what I mean over there. So, yeah, man, this will be fun game. Some weather issues going to be tough for USC too. The way they throw it probably fits more of Notre Dame with the weather going in, but we've seen that happen before. In South Bend, it's October. We get it. I'll go. Excuse me. I'll go. Oh man, this is tough. You stumped me because I think I picked USC online yesterday, but I might have to go Notre Dame now. You know what? No, I think USC wins. I do. I think USC wins. I think Jaden Mavia is gonna put himself in the Heisman discussion
As well
with
where he
this
should have
game.
been. That's where he
Yeah,
should be. He's been
and I want
top
to
four quarterback.
apologize to Mr. Jaden Mavia and his fans and family, especially his dad, because he got on me on Twitter. He is better than Miller Moss.
Yeah, oh
I can
yes.
I'll
Can I
officially say that now because I even this year, Bill, I was like, well, Miller Moss, I think Miller Moss is still better. No, he's not. He's solid. He's really good, but he's not better than Jaden's really good.
he
Like
makes
special,
some
special.
throws that Miller Moss would not even think of
No,
doing
like
right
and Miller's playing great this year for Louisville. They're
now. Yes.
4-1. They got the big game tomorrow night at Miami, which is gonna be fun. But no, like I see why Lincoln knows what he's doing at quarterback. I don't question him when it comes to quarterback. He knows what the hell he's doing. That's why he brought Caleb in, and JT was out, and Jackson Dart was out. Even though how great Jackson was, like what I mean. Well, that's another debate, Caleb versus Jackson. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. Jaden Mavia is great. The receivers, right? Jacoby Lane's 100%. Mekhi Lemon's been one of the best receivers. Biletnikoff award finalist, and then offensive line is banged up, but they've been playing pretty solid. But can they really bang with these Notre Dame boys up front? It's going to be tough, but I think they have enough on the outside to win. And I like King Miller, man. I know everybody's freaking
Yeah.
out because they have two running backs out. But this guy's no slouch, man. I just heard somebody say, like, they got this random walk on running back. No, this kid's really good. Like, he's a good
He's he's
running back.
walk on yes, random no.
No, like, this
Really
dude was
good.
at one of a big powerhouse high school at Calabasas. If you know anything about, obviously
Yep.
recruiting. 3-star guy, kind of under recruited a little bit, but he played behind Nate like he only had started 1 year. You know what I mean? So he's really good. I like USC. I'll take him by 3 points.
There we go. I'm gonna check on my co-host and see if he's back. Nope.
They really
Okay.
impressed me last week
Oh,
too, man.
maybe.
Really, that Michigan game really showed me something.
Yep. I'm gonna ask Matt if he's. Can you hear us, Matt? Can we hear
Yeah,
you?
sorry, I had to go to the bathroom. Then I had to take care of dogs. This has been going over a little bit longer than expected. So sorry.
Yeah, we're literally wrapping up right here. Do you have a prediction or you want to give for USC Notre Dame?
This is a great game. I do. This is a really good game. I was wondering if we were ever going to talk about it. To be honest, I didn't
Oh,
know.
definitely.
Yeah, because we were talking about all those other games. I was like, why are we not talking about this game?
Saving it for last.
Yeah. I think Notre Dame has found themselves. I think CJ Carr, I think Marcus Freeman, they started off the season a little bit slow and struggling, but Notre Dame still is in the hunt. I think they're gonna make a point. I do think Notre Dame is a little bit better of a team. I do like what Lincoln Riley and USC is doing. I do like Malava down there at USC. But I do think Notre Dame handles business this weekend, and I do think Notre Dame wins. I do think it's going to be another double-digit win. I think they're gonna go out on every opponent they can. Definitely a top 25 opponent to prove themselves that they should be in the college football playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know if they win by double digits, but I think they'll try. Donovan, tell people what you're working on, where they can find your work, and where they can follow you, sir.
Yeah, find my work at SEC Unfiltered and Hoosier State of Mind, and my name on X is Don James Poole remains the same. And yeah, SEC Unfiltered, the boys are going to Nashville. Like I said, they're already there, so they'll be at the LSU Vandy game this week. Got to stay tuned for where we go next week. Don't know yet. To see follow Chris Phillips, follow SEC Unfiltered, and those guys. The Hoosier State of Mind obviously has been a blessing to have Signetti sign that 8-year contract today, which I got to get on that article. I'm not on. They probably already have one up. They probably already have one up on the site on Saturday Blitz. But I'll get one up and get my take on it, and then I just wrote a article about the 6 Hoosiers that are midseason All Americans on the major publications. D'Angelo Pons, Aiden Fisher, Fernando Mendoza, Carter Smith was the biggest surprise because he was the only one that wasn't really All American last year. Carter Smith, the left tackle, and then obviously Fernando Mendoza, and then I'm missing one. Oh, Mikael Kamara, who he's so down on himself, man. I know he's like so disappointed because his stats aren't good, but you're still their stats are down a lot, but he's still really good. Couldn't they're double teaming him, this year, so it's hard, but he's really good. And you're the first person to tell me about Kamara, so Mikael Kamara, Mikael.
Mikael Kamara, and
He's been correcting. Indiana media has been butchering his name for 2 years, and he finally was like, "Hey, man, it's not my name." But I'm happy for the whole program, Coach Shanahan, Coach Haynes, all those guys, man. Happy for Hoosiers. They got a long way to go, but having a good year. Thank you guys for letting me be on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. We'll be back in next week. On behalf of, and that is once again Don James, capital DON, capital JAMES, at Don James Sports on X, Twitter, whatever you call it, and Hoosier State of Mind, and of course SEC Unfiltered for me, Bill Carroll, and of course Matt Brunelli. We are OUTO.